Imagine a ship, sailing the seas for generations. Over time, its wooden planks rot and are replaced one by one. First the sails, then the hull, then the rudder, until no original part remains, but the ship still sails under the same name, the Ship of Theseus. So here's the question, is it still the same ship? If none of the original parts are left, what's left of its identity? This isn't just a story. It's one of the oldest and deepest paradoxes in Western philosophy. And it asks something profoundly human. What makes a thing what it is? Its parts or its continuity? The Ship of Theseus forces us to confront something simple but unsettling. If every part of an object is replaced over time, does it remain the same object? In everyday life, we say yes. A car is still your car, even after a few repairs. But what if you replace every single part, slowly, piece by piece? At what point does it stop being the original? Or does it never stop? Some philosophers argue identity is not in the parts, but in the pattern. It's the structure, the shape, the purpose that makes something what it is. Others disagree. They say parts define the whole. So who's right? And what does this mean for us? Now let's complicate it. Imagine someone collects all the original parts from the Ship of Theseus as they're removed, and eventually they rebuild the ship, every single plank and nail exactly where it was. Now you have two ships, one rebuilt from the original parts, and one that gradually replaced everything. Which one is the real Ship of Theseus? The one with all the original matter? Or the one with the original journey, the continuity, the story? This isn't just about ships. This is about you. Your body changes constantly. Cells die and regenerate. Yet you still feel like you. But what if there were two of you? Here's where it gets personal. Just like the Ship of Theseus, you are constantly changing. Every 7 years, nearly every cell in your body is replaced. Your thoughts, memories, even your beliefs evolve over time. So the question is no longer abstract, it's intimate. Are you still the same person you were 10 years ago? If everything about you changes, physically, mentally, emotionally, what stays the same? Is there a core self, something deeper than parts or memories? Or are we just stories in motion, held together by habit and hope? Some philosophers argue that identity is an illusion. There is no true self, just a series of changing states held together by memory and narrative. Like frames in a film, they move fast enough to feel continuous. But stop the reel, and it falls apart. Are you the same person when you're angry, calm, in love, or afraid? Are you the sum of your memories? If those memories faded, would you still be you? This is the heart of the Ship of Theseus. Not just what you're made of, but whether you even exist in the way you think. Throughout history, people have turned to one idea to solve the puzzle of identity: the soul, an immaterial essence, unchanging, eternal, the true you. If the soul exists, then it doesn't matter if your body changes. You are still you. But what is the soul? Can it be proven, measured, or is it a metaphor? A name we give to the feeling of continuity. Even science can't agree. But the Ship of Theseus forces us to ask, if we reject the soul, what's left to hold on to? One way to resolve the paradox is through pattern identity. Not what a thing is made of, but how it is arranged. A song can be played by different instruments, but it's still the same melody. A mind might live in different matter, cells, circuits, even code, but the pattern could remain. Are you a pattern? If so, then maybe identity survives through rhythm, through structure, not through permanence, but through repetition. And if that's true, perhaps the ship of Theseus still sails, not by its parts, but by its design. It's easy to see the ship of Theseus as just a clever puzzle, but its power lies in how often it reflects our actual lives. Aging parents, broken friendships, evolving beliefs. We change, and yet we insist, I'm still me. Why? Because we need a sense of self to hold us together. But maybe the truth is harder and more beautiful. Maybe we are not fixed objects, but moving questions. Stories that rewrite themselves over and over again. Here's a twist. What if both ships are the original? The one with continuity and the one with original parts? What if identity isn't one thing, but two? A physical lineage and a mental story. When you remember who you were, and also become someone new. This is where paradox becomes poetry, where logic gives way to something softer and maybe more true, a self that's not fixed, but flexible. In the end, the ship of Theseus isn't really about a ship, it's about you, about the strange, fragile thread we call identity. You are not who you were, and yet, somehow, you are. You are a story, a motion, a question, not a fixed object, but a becoming. So the real question is not, what are you made of, but rather, what are you becoming?